Hello students, today we will discuss on questions and answers of the story, the fun they had. Actually, student, answers of the questions are given according to individuals. Every person answer a question. Every person can answer the literary answer and can literary questions in as many ways as many people are there. Everyone's way of saying something is different from one another, so it's not a mathematical answer which is fixed, which is a certainty that it will always remain the same. It can vary from one person to another person. The way of writing, the thing that you mention in the answers can differ from mine or from one another, so you have to attempt yourselves for answering the questions. But actually, uh, here I am giving you some samples that how you should write the answers actually of the questions, the short answer questions. First I am giving you today. So let's see which are the questions there in your book of the from this chapter. From the fun they had, the questions that those there are such as how old are Margie and Tommy. It is a very simple question that in the story you read that how old was Margie and Tommy, and actually you saw that Margie was 11 years old while Tommy was 13 years old. But the question has been asked here in present tense, so keeping the tense in mind, you will write answer like this: Margie is 11 years old and Tommy is 13 years old. So it's a very simple question. I hope you all would write this answer correctly. There is nothing rocket science in it. Now let's come to the second question. The question number 2 is, what did Margie write in her diary? So if you remember, students, she wrote in her diary that today Tommy had found a new book. That's what I have written here also as my answer. You can also note down this answer, or you can write your own in your own way. But keep it in mind, your sentences must always be correct, such as Margie wrote in her diary, today Tommy found a real book. So actually, I have written the answer in direct speech. I have given the quotation mark. You can also write that Margie wrote in her diary that Margie wrote in her diary that Tommy found a real book that day. Now let's come to the third question. Once again, student, wait. Third question, actually, had Margie ever seen a book before? So actually you saw in the story that Margie had never seen a book before, but she had actually heard about the book from her grandfather, and that's what I have written here also. No, she had heard about a book from her grandfather. She has actually not seen it. You have to answer these questions in short. So if you want, you can also write here, no, she has not seen a book before, but she has heard from her grandfather about a book. So after no, you can also write no. She has never seen a book before. Actually, she never saw a book before. You can once again wait. Had. So you would write no. Margie had never seen a book before. You would write like that. In this way, student, look at here. Margie had never seen a book before, and then you would write after giving the full stop that she had heard about the book from her grandfather. That's what you have to write. Now students, let's discuss the fourth question. The fourth question is, what things about the book did she find strange? There were so many things that Margie and Tommy both found strange about the book, such as they found many strange things about the book. One of the strange things was that after reading, the book became useless. Yeah, actually, once the book read, the words and the things will not change. So according to them, it's a useless thing that once we read, and then we will have to get over from it, other because we have already read it. We need not this. Actually, they were not understanding the use of the book, because they were not familiar with the object. So that is why they were thinking like that, and this has been mentioned in the story. So you can write in this way. They found many strange things about the book. One of the strange things was that after reading, the book became useless because the text written on it did not change the way it happened on their computer screen. Moreover, one page was having limited number of words, unlike computers where a page can display unlimited number of words. So actually, student, this is the perfect sample answer I have written for all of you. You can write down this answer in the examination. You can actually practice of writing the answers of these questions. You do not have to attempt the teacher's answer. You have to go with your own mind. But you can look at these answers. You can go for the uh, recommendation that how you should write. Now let's discuss the fifth question. What do you think a telebook is? Telebook has been mentioned in the story. Telebook. So what would you think? Tele is the word that refers something, you know, which is from a distance from us. So telebook would be what? Telebook would be an online book in present word, if we want to say, or computerized book, or a book that is that appears on the screen, actually that appears on the TV screen or a mobile screen or a computer screen. So after pondering upon all those things, I have come to this conclusion that the answer should be like this. A telebook can be an online book which can be browsed using internet, or it can be displayed through TV signals on TV screens. So you can write in this way the answer of this question, students. Now let's discuss on the sixth number question. Where was Margie's school? Did she have any classmates? So you have read in the story that Margie was actually reading in her own house. She had her classroom beside her bedroom. So actually she does not have. So where was Margie's school? Margie's school is actually in her house. And did she have any classmates? No, she cannot have the classmates because she reads alone at her house, in her classroom, in her study room, in simple words, if you want to say. So Margie's school was a virtual classroom, and it means to say that virtual classroom. It was a classroom, but it was not a real one. It was a virtual classroom. It was a virtual school, and it was actually inside her house, and she cannot have the classmates because those schools are actually not the schools, they are just the virtual schools. So you can note down the answer here, student. I am repeating for all of you once what has been written. She didn't have classmates the way present day children have. At present, children go to physical schools where they interact with real teachers and real classmates. Real teachers means to say man teachers, the teachers who are men, not robots. Now let's discuss on the last question of this section. And tomorrow we will discuss on some of the long answer questions, such as what subjects did Margie and Tommy learn. Actually, in the story you saw that many subjects have been mentioned in the story, that Margie used to read geography, as his geography sector was actually geared up a little too high. Or you in another context you heard that someone's robot teacher was disrupted, and he did actually blanked out his sector. So actually they also used to, they will be also read the same subject that we are reading today, but in completely different ways, such as, in the story it has been mentioned the subjects like geography, maths and history, but you will have to keep it in mind that a computer can teach all sorts of, computer can be programmed, a robot can be programmed to teach all sorts of subjects. So you know you can write that they were taught almost every subject which were relevant to them, uh, probably. So student, these are the few sample answers I have given you. You can use them and you can look up to them for an idea how to write the answers. So you will note down in the copies other while actually you will attempt yourselves in writing, but these answers are actually for practicing.